Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I have another like literature kind of book review and kind of get ready with me kind of video. But I was talking to Debbie last night. We were just hanging out at her house and she came up with a fabulous title for this new series called Beauty and the Bibliophile. It's a lot to kind of get out. So I just thought that was a little bit more clever than calling it like lipstick and literature or mascara and literature or blush and literature. You know, whatever item I just want to feature in that video of the day. Because sometimes like I'll finish books quickly and I'll want to talk about them before I forget about them. So I don't always have something to feature, or I don't always have like this. It's kind of like I ran into this recently after like posting my last video about a book. After I finish a book, I'm like, I want to talk about it right away so I don't forget about it. But at the time, like I didn't have time to do a video, or like, it was just, I don't know. So I thought I'd do it a little bit different. Of course, today I am going to be getting ready because I have a lot to do today. So today's is going to be like just a quick makeup routine. This is like my go-to, like I gotta hurry up and get out the door. I don't have time to fool around with anything. I have so much to do today. But yeah, I thought maybe we'd also do things like vlogs. Like if I finish a book and I'm at a point where I can film, I'll just grab my camera and walk around the house and talk about the book. And maybe tell you something about a product that I'm using. I don't know, we'll see. But I really like the title Beauty and the Bibliophile just because it's kind of a set title and it's not something that'll be changing like the lipstick and literature one title that, Debbie's very clever. She comes up with the most clever things. But anyway, yeah, again, I'm just kind of starting this series, and so I'll be playing around with it a lot, and we'll kind of see how it goes, how y'all like it, and how I like to kind of film that kind of video. But today it just so happens that I need to get ready. Although I read this series, it's two books, a mystery thrillers kind of book. Once again, that's kind of like what I'm into right now. But I do have some other books that I want to read that are not mystery type books, but that's just kind of what I've been reading, and I just want to talk about them. But this one is this book, and I don't have the actual book because I listen to it on Audible, and that's kind of another thing. Like I fly through audiobooks because I just listen to it throughout the day while I'm doing stuff around the house or whatnot, So I finished those pretty quickly, and I want to talk about those as soon as I'm finished with them. So I have one that I'm listening to now that'll probably be the next literature video that I'll be filming. And then I have an actual book that I'm reading right now that I want to talk about as well, but I'm only like not even halfway through it. So it just takes more time to actually sit and read than actually like listen to a book. So, but today's video is going to be about Stillhouse Lake and Killman Creek by Rachel Kane. I really enjoyed this little series. It didn't have like great reviews, but it looked like let me pull up the book. This is what the book looks like. I just thought it was creepy and kind of fun. So this is the first one, Stillhouse Lake, and then the second one, Killman's Creek. So it's just oh no, we don't want to. Sorry, we don't want to listen to it again. Killman Creek. This is the second book. So yeah, so I finished these fairly quickly, like maybe last week or a week and a half ago, and I wanted to talk about them just because I really enjoyed the book, and like I said, they didn't have really that great reviews, so I was kind of wishy-washy about getting it, but I'm glad I did because I really liked it. But before I get into the book, as I was editing my last one, I was kind of all over the place, like talking about the book and then breaking and then telling you what I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you about the products that I'm going to be using today, and then that way I can just go about putting my makeup on and talk about the book. So I'm going to be using my where did I, oh yeah. So I'm going to be using the MAC Prep and Prime highlighting pen in Radiant Rose. I have my Bye Bye Pores Illumination setting powder to set that. And then today I am going to be using a powder, but this is the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish, and I'm in medium. I have another one that, like, this one has kind of hit pan, but I have another one waiting to go. This is like my kind of go-to, hurry up, I gotta get out the door, because it's just easy. It's not full coverage, it's very light, but you know, when I just don't really feel like wearing makeup that day, but yet I want to look a little decent, this is kind of what I grab. I don't know. I'm going to be using my Hello Light Cream Highlighter by It Cosmetics. Also, the Bye Bye Pores Bronzer by It Cosmetics. The Bye Bye Pores Blush by It Cosmetics. And this is the blush in Naturally Pretty. This is just my go-to blush. It's just a very natural kind of pink. A subtle pink. It's not too pink. It's just like a neutral pink. It's just my go-to brush. I'm not going to be doing my brows, but I have my Clear Brow Gel ready to go. And then for lips today, I am going to be using something different. This is the Make Up Geek liquid lipstick. I think it's, yeah. I didn't keep the box, so, oh, it says Cream Stain. So I got this at Target. Make Up Geek has a selected line at Target that that I really wanted to check out. But when I went, of course, there was like, it was all picked over. There was hardly anything left. But I thought this color was pretty. It's like a peachy color, and it's called Foxtrot. So that's what I'm going to be wearing on my lips today. And that's kind of what it looks like. Very pretty peach color, kind of a neutral peach, which I'm all about. But when I tried it on, like, I haven't actually wore it out, but I did try it on, it was very bright, but it's fun. So we'll give it a go, and I'm going to use my NYX lip liner. These are really good lip liners next to the MAC ones, and this one is in Nude. Okay, so that's all what I'm going to be using today, and you can watch along as we talk about this book. So the first book, like I said, is Stillhouse Lake. I want to like combine Killman Creek and Stillhouse Lake together, but the first book is Stillhouse Lake. So the main character in this book is, her name is Gina Royal, and you know, she's married to, I think, Melvin Royal, and they have 2 kids. They've changed their names, so I can't remember. I think the little boy's original name was Brady, and the girl's original name, I absolutely cannot remember. But I remember the little boy, for some reason, was Brady. But their names, shortly after things happen, change because she's on the run. So it first starts off with her in the car with her kids, and they are coming home from somewhere. It doesn't really say, but she describes that there's like just, you know, stuff happening up ahead, like police cars and flashing lights and things like that. And she's kind of like talking to herself about, oh, I really need to get home and start supper, you know, and start dinner. And this is kind of getting in my way. I'm going to be so late. Melvin's going to be home soon, and I wanted to have supper prepared. Or dinner prepared. I don't know if anybody says supper. We do. But, so she's like monologuing in her head, you know, that she's going to be, this is going to make her late. So, and then like as close as she gets, she realizes that the scene is taking place at like her house. And so she's like, what's going on? And the kids are like, Mom, what's happening? And they're young at this time. And so I think they're like 8 and 10 maybe. The little boy's 8 and the little girl's 10. So the cops, when they get closer to the house, you know, the cops stop them and come to her window, and she asks them, you know, like, what's going on? Is everything okay? What happened? I'm not going to tell you what, well, I'll tell you, like, it's really not really like the main part of the book, but I mean, you get it early on in the book, like what's going on. So she sees that a car has crashed into her home, like her garage. And so when she rolls down her window and talks to the police officer, she's like, what happened? Is everything okay? You know, she you know, at first she's like complaining, like, oh, this is going to cause me to be late with dinner. And then she like realizes that someone has wrecked into her home. So she's kind of like, oh my God, is this person okay? And they're just like, ma'am, you need to get out of your vehicle right now. Hands on the hood and all this. So she's like, what's happening? What do you mean? I haven't done anything. I've been out with my kid. My kids are in my car. So anyway, she's like, tells the kids, y'all stay in here. Don't worry, everything's fine. Mommy just needs to go talk to police officers. So that's kind of how the book begins. And as she's talking and just being like, what's going on? Why are you making me, why are you searching me? I haven't done anything. Someone has wrecked into my home. Why are you accusing me? Why are you accusing me of something? And then she looks up and like, she notices that at first she's like, and why is there a mannequin hanging in my garage? And so she's like monologuing to herself again, like, this is like the most grotesque thing I've ever seen. Like, who makes a mannequin that looks like this with eyes bulging and blue skin and tongue hanging out and all this stuff? And then she like realizes, she's like, oh my God, that's a real person hanging in my garage. And that's kind of how like the prologue ends. And then you jump to like 4 years later, and she has now been on the run for 4 years. You don't really know why until a little further on. I mean, it's still in the beginning. You get why, why she's on the run. So now she has like changed her name a couple times. I don't really remember how many times. Like I said, it's kind of been like a week and a half since I've finished the series, but she has changed her name, and this name sticks throughout the rest of the series. So her name is Gwen Proctor now, and the little boy's name is Connor, and the little girl's name is Lanny. And so she has taken her kids and gone on the run, but before all that happens, she explains like how they got to this point. Like, she was accused of assisting in murders that her husband committed. You find all this out in the beginning. So I mean, this may be spoilers, so I'll have to maybe put that up, that this may be a little bit spoiler alert, but so she was sent to jail. So she had some jail time because everybody was against her and saying that she assisted in the murders, that her husband had, like, he would like brutally murder these women, and like, I'm not going to tell you anymore in case you won't read, but so she was accused of assisting him in murder. So she served for a little while until like her lawyer could kind of get her cleared, I guess. Her kids like stayed at her mom's house or something like that. Her and her mom aren't exactly really close, and a lot of people became just like skeptical of her because they didn't know whether to believe that she was a part of this or not. So, but I mean, she gets cleared, but she has so much hate. Like, so many people like just hate her, and that they are like harassing her and her children. So that's basically why they're on the run. Like, she calls it like every morning she has to go on computer and she does what she calls the sicko patrol. So she'll go and like look through her emails and things like that, and yeah, she just gets all sorts of sick things just from haters and like, like die bitch and kind of thing. So she's trying to keep that from her kids. So she has like this this person that kind of helps her with that. His name is Absalom, or and she doesn't know if it's a him, it's a her, or if it's just like a multiple array of people. And you know, she like kind of describes that he's just like a really good like hacker, I guess. And I'm not sure how she comes about him. I think he approaches her. I hate you, but I want to help you kind of thing. And which is really odd to me in the beginning. You find more about that in the second book. So she's kind of got an ally in him, I guess, if you want to call it that, or her, or whatever this person is. So he helps her. I mean, she has to pay him, of course, but he helps her escape and change her name and her kids' names and things like that. He helps her get rid of the things that people are posting on the internet, so she can kind of keep that away from her kids. She doesn't allow them to have like phones or any type of like internet access or anything like that. So I kind of put on too much blush. But she does work from home. She's found a job like transcribing or something. So they do kind of explain that. Like all the grounds are covered. So you learn all sorts of things of like how she got to that point. But it was just a really good story, and it was more suspenseful than anything else. I don't know if it was considered psychological. I mean, the husband is pretty much a psychopath, if you ask me. I mean, to do things like that to women is just terrible. But if you read the book, you'll learn more about that. But so pretty much in the first book, like he's in prison, but yet he still kind of gets to her in some kind of ways. Like he writes these letters, and sometimes the letters are super nice and like I miss you and the kids and things like that. And sometimes they're like threatening, like you did this to me, or I don't know, things like that. So she tries to keep all of that away from the kids. So Stillhouse Lake is like they kind of found like a home in Stillhouse Lake. Like the kids don't want to leave it. You know, they especially the daughter. She's like, we finally found a place that we can feel like home. You know, I have friends now at school. But the little boy is a little I don't want to say off, but he's not off. You know, like that. He's just like, you kind of wonder, like, what's up with him. Like, throughout the whole time, I'm thinking, like, is he going to end up like his father? You know, he was just kind of weird. But she runs across a lot of, like, I guess friends and like, just a few people that she feels she can trust, sort of. She's not, like, fully, like, she doesn't know if she can fully trust them. But she, like, learns how to shoot and, you know, like, just all kinds of protection things. There's a cop that lives next to her. I think his name is something Grant. Officer Grant is really, I think they say his first name a couple times, but I don't remember what it is. I know it's Officer Grant, and he has 2 sons, and he lives close by. Her son tried to make it out like they were friends, but they really weren't. I mean, they were like kind of like harassing him, and they like take his phone. You find out more about that kind of later on in the book. But she kind of befriends him. And then there's also a guy named Sam that lives nearby as well. And one day her son, like, she finds out her son skipped school. And so she starts freaking out, you know, because she doesn't want them out on their own in case, like, people recognize them and, like, want to do bad things to them and things like that. So she's, like, freaking out and, like, starts to like look for her son, and then he shows up, like the Sam guy shows up on her doorstep with her son, and so of course she's skeptical of him, you know, like, what were you doing with my son? Did you hurt him? Because, you know, her son comes back like a little beat up. I said I wasn't going to break the story, but I completely forgot to do my eyeliner. I'm going to use the Mally Evercolor Starlight Waterproof eyeliner. These are like these next to the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide-Ons are like my favorite eyeliners. They stay put, don't go anywhere, and very good for smudging. But you got to be quick about smudging because especially this one, it sets really quickly. And I'm using my waterproof Clinique High Impact Waterproof Mascara. So anyway, long story short, she kind of befriends him, and he starts doing stuff around the house for her, like fixing it up, because the kids really like the house and they want to like make it their home. So she hires him to like do her roof, redo her roof or something like that, and paint and redo the deck and things like that. And you kind of learn, you also learn, like when I was reading like that part, I'm thinking, where's she getting all this money, you know? But you learn about that as she's talking about like fixing up the house and stuff, because they did kind of fix it up a little bit when they bought it, but she kind of talks about where her money comes from. So anyway, moving forward, bodies kind of start popping up in the lake next to her home, and it's sort of in the same way, like it's women and they were like killed the same way her husband liked to kill them, except these women were found like just kind of floating to the surface. Like when he would like dispose of his victims, he would weigh them down to the bottom of water, wherever. I don't know like where he was finding these batches of water, but apparently like there was a lake next to them, like in the life that she knew that in her life before, when she was like Gina Royal, and that she didn't know what was happening in her home. But and like he would take like his son fishing there and all this crazy stuff. So it's definitely crazy, and it's just interesting to read about all this stuff that's like happening to her, or like what had happened. And it was just very good. And so anyway, these bodies start popping up. So of course she's accused. So the people around town start accusing her, and eventually like find out who she is, who she really is, and who her husband was, and all this stuff. So they're kind of skeptical of her and like don't trust her anymore. And so it kind of like pisses me off, or like that part kind of pissed me off that they were doing that to her. Because I mean, at first I was like, obviously she is not helping this crazy husband of hers, this psycho person. I mean, why are people blaming her so much? But then after a while you're like, well, maybe she is helping him. I don't know, So, but I never really, I mean, for maybe a second I kind of thought that maybe she was helping him, because in the second book you get, I'll get to that. She prepares to like go on the run again because she doesn't, she wants to keep her kids away from this, and she doesn't want to be away from her kids, and things like that. So they kind of catch her before she goes on the run, and so the whole time she's like texting, my camera cut off, texting Absalom, I'm about to be arrested. They've been finding bodies, and can you help me, and all this stuff. He doesn't really like pull through with helping her, and she kind of knows that. She kind of figures that he wouldn't, because he also kind of hates her, because he's like, well, did you do it? And she's like, no. But so he doesn't, I mean, he gets stuff ready for her to go on the run, but then she ends up not going, because cops kind of catch her and bring her in and all this stuff. I mean, they have no evidence to hold against her. There's like, I guess, prosecute her with. So they let her go, and I mean, other stuff kind of happens, and then, because like I said, multiple bodies, like the first body that comes up, they kind of take her in and then let her go, and then another body comes up, and so things like that. So, and like Sam starts to like, because he's like kind of starting to get to like her, But then when this kind of pops up, he's like, I don't know, I don't know if I can trust you. And she kind of like starts fading away from her. But in her head, she's like, who is doing this? Are you doing this? She's trying to figure out, because her husband is in prison. She even like goes to visit him. She pretty much like threatens him, like, I will have you killed if you don't leave us alone and all this stuff. So at that point, she's kind of thinking that he has people on the outside that's been able to, like, because he's not supposed to send her letters or anything. So she starts to wonder if Absalom, like towards the end of the book, if Absalom is helping her husband as well as helping her, because everywhere they seem to go, he seems to know where they're at. So that's why she keeps moving around. But this last time, she doesn't like really get to flee, because she's kind of caught before she flees. Towards the end, you find out who's doing this, and it's quite a shocker, because I really wasn't expecting this character. And that's what I love about books like that. You kind of start suspecting people that show up in her life. I suspected like everybody, but I didn't really expect this person. So that was really cool. So anyway, so it kind of like ends, everything like tied up in a bow, and it kind of ends. But then you have the second book to where they're getting settled in Stillhouse Lake again. But then I think another body pops up. No, not another body. So like in the second one, there's like a prison break. Like hundreds of these murderers are like loose, and somehow they get out. Well, one of them is the husband. People have started vandalizing their home, so they're not safe there. So she brings the kids to one of her friends, or well, she thinks he's her friend, but then he starts like, because something happens. I think about another body does pop up, like once the prisoners escape. And so like once again, everybody's thinking that her husband contacted her, and now she's helping him. So she leaves her kids with this person that doesn't trust her, but he's willing to take her kids in because, kids are kids, and they're not going to do anything bad, right? So kids are innocent. They're not going to do something like this. So she kind of goes on the run with her and Sam, and to find this Absalom, because they kind of think that all this has something to do with him. And they also like are looking for the husband on the way as well, because, he's obviously not somebody that you want roaming the world right now. So they want to look for him, and like she's like ready to just like kill him and be done with it. I'm gonna put this lipstick on because I can't really talk while I do this, but I'll do this real quick. See, it's a pretty color. It's kind of bright for me, I think, but I think it's pretty. I don't really know how it wears throughout the day yet. Like, it kind of smears off when I go to put it on, which is weird. Maybe you have to let it dry a little bit and then apply some more. I don't have many. I don't wear much liquid lipstick because I find it like kind of dries out. I don't know. It's okay. It's pretty. Not bad. It's very matte. It's kind of like still sticky a little bit, but it's okay. We'll see how it wears throughout the day. I'll take this down. Go ahead and set. So yeah, during Killmans Creek, it's all about her kind of being on a run, her and Sam, and him not trusting her like the whole time. Sometimes he wants to like flee and like be rid of her, and at some point he kind of does, and you feel like he's betraying her. His character just kind of pissed me off throughout that book, as well as like her so-called friends that she got at the Stillhouse Lake. But they find out, I don't want to tell you, about Absalom in case you want to read the book, but they find out all about Absalom, and they find him, her, or whoever, or however many people it might be, and eventually find her her husband. So I'm not really going to tell you anymore like how it ends and how they get him and all this other stuff. So it's really not like sort of like a mystery, because right in the beginning you know that what he's doing, his secret life that he was leading, like murdering all these women and throwing them in this lake, weighing them all down with like cinder blocks, I think. But so it's not really a mystery. It's just more like a suspenseful type thriller, such psychological thriller maybe, because he is, I mean, the husband is quite cuckoo. But I just thought it was a really good read, and it just kind of kept me like thinking the whole time, like, should she trust this person? Should she trust that person? You know, especially in the first one, like why are all these bodies popping up? Who did this? You know, and so she kind of gets weary about the people around her, but yet they're like all accusing her of assisting her husband some kind of way while he's in prison, you know, doing this. And in the second book, all kinds of things start popping up, and start like I guess like emails somehow get to like her kids, and like video clips in an email somehow gets to like all her people, and they watch these videos, and this is somehow it looks like she's assisting in all these murders. So that is really that kind of got me annoyed at the whole situation, and like that kind of pissed me off. Like I really felt for her. Like I really was like, she's not doing this, you know. But anyway, I just thought it was a really good read, and like I said, just kind of kept you on your toes. I hope I didn't like put out too much about it, because there's a lot more details in there that I'm not gonna really talk about. But it was just a really good kind of it kept me wanting to read it. Like I didn't want to, or listen to it. I didn't really want to put it down type thing. Like I was like anxious like to even like wake up in the morning and put my earbuds in and start listening to it. But yeah, I thought it was just especially the two series. You definitely, if you read Stillhouse Lake, you definitely have to read Killman Creek. I mean, you don't have to, because things kind of like tie up in a nice little bow at the end of Stillhouse Lake. But there's still the fact that her husband is still in prison, you know, and the fact that she still doesn't feel safe. So Killman Creek kind of like sums that all up and things like that. So yeah, I really enjoyed this little two-part mystery thriller type read. Definitely check it out. I'll link it down below. I'll link as well as everything else that I used in this video. I hope maybe this was a little bit better than the first one. I know the first one I was kind of all over the place, but I thought it was fun. And I mean, we're not perfect here. It's just, you know, me and a camera, and we're just talking about books and makeup. So yeah, definitely give it a thumbs up if you like this type of thing. If you're a book lover, definitely subscribe or go follow me on Goodreads, because I definitely do like reviews on there as well. Follow me on my social medias. I do have a Facebook page, but I'm mostly on Instagram, so definitely come follow me on Instagram. What else? If there are any books that y'all are loving and y'all think that I would love to read, definitely mention them in the comments down below. I'd love to check out any books that you would think that I would be interested in. I really don't have like, the only thing I'm not like crazy about reading is like more like historical type things. I mean, I have read like a few historical romances, but I'm not really into that. And that's really the only thing. Other than that, I'll give everything else a good chance. But I mostly love like cozy mysteries, mystery thriller type things, psychological type mysteries, romances, contemporary romances. I love young adult. I really like reading young adult books. Yeah, things like that. I like sort of like fantasy type things. Not really much into sci-fi, but I'll give it a go because I really did enjoy The Host by Stephanie Meyers, and that was kind of sci-fi. But, you know, so I guess it just all depends. But definitely let me know what you're reading, and I might want to check that out too. So I'm rambling. All right, I'm going to go now. Y'all have a great day, and I will definitely see y'all in my next video. Bye, y'all.